7 years of marriage, and Ethan Thorne had no idea that everyone in my family, except for me, was completely unhinged. My father was a ruthless mob boss, and my brother was a twisted psychopath who collected bodies. After my mother's death, they raised me as their princess. They always said anyone who dared hurt me would be stripped to the bone, sliced piece by piece, and left to wish for death. On the day I went into labor, Ethan's little assistant, Sophia Davis, managed to call away every single doctor in the hospital because of a torn private part. I clutched his hand, terrified. "Ethan, please get the doctors back. If my family finds out what you're doing to me, you're dead." But Ethan Thorne just sneered and shook off my hand. "Still lying. I'm a billionaire now. Even the mayor answers to me. Why would I be scared of them? Last time, Sophia fainted from low blood sugar, and you forced me to attend a meeting with our partners. Now it's your turn to give birth. Can't you just suck it up?" He straightened up and said sternly, "Since you're so considerate of the bigger picture, just wait until Sophia recovers, then give birth. You won't die." The ward door slammed shut with a bang, and excruciating pain instantly ripped through my abdomen. Trembling, I fumbled for the emergency trigger button hidden in my necklace pendant, pressing it with my last ounce of strength. Ethan Thorne had no idea that hitting that button wouldn't bring regular bodyguards. It would unleash the Shadow Raven mercenaries, feared across the globe. Ethan Thorne didn't return until late into the night. Dragging my body, which was steadily leaking blood, I painstakingly crawled to the door. I looked up and saw Ethan's secretary, Mark Stevens, leaning against the wall, his eyes as cold as ice. "Please call a doctor. My baby is dying." I reached out to grab his pant leg, my fingertips trembling uncontrollably. Mark kicked my hand away, his disgust practically dripping from his eyes. "All the doctors in the hospital have been called by Mr. Thorne to treat Miss Davis. Madam should just wait patiently here." The blood beneath me flowed more and more, and my stomach felt like it was being sliced by a dull knife, twisting with spasms of pain. I'm about to give birth. What kind of injury could she possibly have that's more important than a woman giving birth? He sneered. "Madam, you didn't know? Last night, Mr. Thorne had quite a session with Miss Davis, and her private parts were severely torn to MR. Thorne was heartbroken and immediately ordered all doctors to stay by her side without leaving." "You said what?" My mind went blank with a buzz, as if I'd plunged into an ice-cold abyss. The excruciating pain in my stomach couldn't even overpower the suffocating tightness in my chest. I clutched his pant leg tightly, pleading humbly, "Please call Ethan Thorne. Tell him to come see me and the baby, even if just for a moment." "Don't bother, madam." Mark's voice was chilling. "With Miss Davis, a beauty, in his arms, why would Mr. Thorne care about you? You and this child. If you don't die, just spare it. If you do, it's what you deserve." His words were like a sharp knife, slicing into my heart. Yes, Ethan Thorne wouldn't care about me. He was completely consumed by Sophia now, so how could he possibly come save me? I opened my mouth, wanting to say more, but the severe blood loss made my vision suddenly go black, and I completely passed out. In my dream, I felt like I was falling into a bottomless abyss. When I opened my eyes again, I saw Dad crouching by the villa pool, tossing a bloody piece of meat into the water. The fish were eating until their bellies were round, their scales glowing with a strange, eerie red hue. He turned, smiling at me, and said those fish, fed on human flesh, had the most beautiful scales, perfect for my bookmarks. My brother leaned outside the glass door, showing off a bracelet he'd made from human bones. Back then, I had just experienced my mother's sudden death right in front of me and was most afraid of the dark. No matter how late Ethan's work dinners ran, he would always come home early to stay by my side, waking up before dawn the next day to go to work. I casually mentioned I liked the starry sky, and he immediately spent millions to buy an observatory in the city outskirts, giving it to me as a birthday gift. A wealthy heiress, wanting to be with him, offered a multi-billion-dollar project, pressuring him to break up with me. To give me a sense of security, he immediately blocked her and declared publicly, "The only woman I will ever love is Eleanor Moretti." I believed him. So I kept it from my family, accompanied him as he built his fortune from scratch, acted as a shield against countless schemes, and even proactively cut ties with my family for him. He hugged me countless times, saying, "Ellie, once the company goes public, I'll take you on a world tour and pamper you like a princess." But now, that man who swore he'd never betray me was watching me bleed to death in a hospital bed, all for another woman. In a haze, I heard a baby's cry. The next moment, I was violently pulled back to reality. Looking at Mark Stevens beside me, I forced myself to speak through the pain. "Mark, my father personally picked you to be my bodyguard all those years ago. You know exactly what my family is capable of." He didn't speak, but his trembling hands gave away his terror completely. "What do I want to do?" My pale face twisted into a sneer. "My father and brother will be here any minute. If you don't get the doctors now, when they arrive, you'll have nowhere to be buried." Mark instantly trembled all over, scrambling to go find a doctor. Just as he reached the door, he seemed to remember something. He suddenly let out a chilling laugh, then turned and viciously slapped me across the face. A sharp smack echoed, and my head snapped to the side from the blow. "This is Mr. Thorne's private hospital, built just for you. It's deep in the wilderness. Not even satellites can find it, let alone any divine intervention." I gasped for breath, staring at him, weak but with fierce resolve. "You're too late, all of you. I already sent out my location." His face instantly turned ghostly pale, his legs gave out, and he collapsed onto the floor, his eyes wide with terror as if he'd seen a ghost. This isn't real." I gritted my teeth, every word causing me to break out in a cold sweat from the pain. "Go get the doctors now. When my father arrives, I'll put in a good word for you, and you might just get to keep your worthless life. Otherwise, next year this very day will be your death anniversary." Mark was terrified out of his mind. He fumbled for his phone, scrambling on all fours, and bolted out like a madman. I lay limp on the bed, the cramping in my stomach like a knife twisting inside me. But the knot in my stomach finally loosened a bit. When Mark finally pushed the doctor in, seeing me covered in blood, he instantly exploded. "Are you insane?" He practically stomped his foot, pointing at my belly in exasperation. "This pregnant woman is almost gone. The baby's in a breech position. 5 more minutes, and it'll be a double tragedy." The doctor quickly felt my pulse, then pried open my eyelids and shouted, "Quick, get the delivery kit. And the strong stimulant. She needs to stay awake. No more complications." A needle jabbed, and cool medicine flowed in. My mind went blank for a moment, then instantly cleared. Finally, my baby and I were saved. The doctor had just picked up a scalpel when the ward door was kicked open with a bang. Sophia's mother, Brenda Davis, suddenly burst in and roughly pushed the doctor to the ground. Ethan and my daughter were at it until dawn last night. Her wound tore open again, and now she can't even stand. "I order you to go save her right now, or I swear I'll make sure you're run out of the city." She turned and glared at me, her face practically overflowing with triumph. "My daughter is Mr. Thorne's favorite trophy wife. He said every doctor in this city has to prioritize her." She then scornfully kicked my stomach, her eyes filled with utter disdain. "Eleanor Moretti, don't think that just because you have a face that could launch 1,000 ships and helped Mr. Thorne build his fortune from scratch, you're something special. Look at what you are. Do you really think you deserve to be Mrs. Thorne?" I convulsed in pain, but with my last ounce of strength, I spat fiercely at her greasy face. Brenda's face instantly turned green with rage. She raised her hand to strike me. "You wretched BTCH. Today, I'll teach you a good lesson for my daughter and show you who the real mistress of the Thorne household is. Mark, terrified, pounced and desperately held her back. Madam is almost gone. If you lay another hand on her, she and the baby will die. So what? She let out a twisted laugh, calling 2 bodyguards from outside the door. Hold her down for me. You dare steal my daughter's man? Today, I'll show you what it means to wish you were dead. 2 burly men rushed in, pinning my arms and legs down. I was utterly powerless, able only to watch as she picked up a solid wooden stick from the corner. Childbirth is always painful for women, isn't it? Whining like a stuck pig, so delicate. So, what if the babies breech? She viciously patted my face, then jabbed the wooden stick directly into my stomach. Just roll it a few times with the stick, and the baby will come out, won't it? My pupils constricted, and I struggled desperately. You wouldn't dare. Ethan will kill you if he finds out. She laughed even crazier, raising the wooden stick and brutally rolling it over my swollen belly. My daughter is Mr. Thorne's darling. You and this bastard child die, and he'll be delighted. The moment the stick pressed against my belly, I screamed in agony. My internal organs felt dislocated, and the baby inside struggled violently for a moment, then went completely still. No, my baby! I screamed with heart-wrenching anguish, tears mixing with sweat as they streamed down my face. She ignored me, continuing to roll the wooden stick over my stomach again and again. Each strike was full of force, my belly burned, and my insides felt like they were being shredded. I convulsed all over, my consciousness fading. Mark was terrified, cold sweat dripping, his legs trembling non-stop. Stop hitting her. She'll really die if this continues. Get lost. Brenda kicked him away, then raised the wooden stick, aiming to jab it at my private parts. Might as well finish the job. Make sure you can never have children again, then let's see if Mr. Thorne still wants you. Just as the stick was about to fall again, a furious roar came from behind her. Ellie. Donovan Moretti stepped forward and violently shoved Brenda Davis aside. Mr. Thorne, why are you here? The blood I'd lost soaked through the sheets, and my stomach was red and purple from the beating, swollen to a horrifying size. Ethan looked at me, his eyes bloodshot, then whipped his head around and roared. Who gave you the nerve to touch my woman and my child? Sophia, her face streaked with tears, tugged at Ethan's sleeve. Ethan, please don't blame my mom. If you're going to punish anyone, punish me. It's all my fault. I couldn't stop her. Sophia cried breathlessly, then suddenly changed her tone. But Ellie always hits and scolds me, saying I'm a vixen and not good enough for you. When my mom came to visit, she even hit my mom. I don't know what I did wrong. Why does Ellie hate me so much? As she spoke, she rolled up her sleeve, revealing a few faint old scars on her arm. These are all from when Ellie used to hit me. I never dared to tell you, afraid it would make things difficult for you. My mom was just so upset. She lost her head for a moment. She really didn't mean it. Ethan's eyes instantly turned bone-chillingly cold. He stared at me intently, his voice filled with disappointment. Eleanor Moretti, I thought you were just spoiled, but I never imagined you were so vicious. Those words were like an ice pick plunging into my heart, and with them, my last shred of hope for him shattered into dust. Ethan's gaze hardened. It seems I've pampered you too much, allowing you to become so lawless. You need to learn a lesson and remember your place. Whatever Sophia wants to do to punish you, you'll take it. I stared at him, unable to believe it. Ethan, are you blind? They were trying to kill our baby. Seeing this, Sophia sobbed softly. Ethan, Ellie is just too distraught. I lay in a pool of blood, my heart filled with despair. Dad, Silas, where are you? As the last tear slipped from my eye, I stopped struggling. Boom! A sudden thunderous crash erupted from outside the door. The main door was blasted to splinters, with shrapnel flying everywhere. My father, Donovan, burst in, covered in blood. His eyes swept over Sophia and a stunned Ethan. When they finally landed on my barely breathing form, they instantly turned scarlet. Looks like my fish have fresh bait again. My brother, Silas, strolled in behind him, his eyes fixated on Sophia. That face, if you took it off to make a lampshade, it would be absolutely perfect.